Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is a unit that I call Creating Your Fantasy Character. This is one of 3 units that I teach my grade 8 class, and this is creating a person of any kind that has to do with fantasy. In this particular case, it's a wizard, but you could do superheroes, Disney princesses, anything like that. So as you can see, I put in my pencil ahead of time, and I'm doing this in charcoal. In terms of charcoal, does a fantastic job in light and shadow. It's very simple in terms of a medium to use, in terms of smudging, that sort of thing. So doing a pencil outline really helps. So in terms of teaching my students, I always go through the proportions of a person. Making sure that the waist is at the right height. Usually legs are, say, 2/3 of the length of the body, and then trying to get the limbs the right length. It's actually amazing how long arms are. They go past your waist. So make sure that the arms and the hands are the right size, and then obviously the head is the right proportion for the rest of the body. And then once you got that right, I go on to how to do drapery of the costume. So that goes in from all the lights and shadows of, say, folded fabric. As you can see, his cloak and cape have light shadows, and that makes the illusion of folds and pleats in the fabric. So you also have to choose where your light source is. So the light source is coming from his magical staff, and it's the crystal at the top is making this really bright glow. So meaning all the light is on the top of his sleeves, the top of his head. So if you get that right, and then the dark sides behind the lights, you'll get that light and shadow effect, meaning creating some sort of 3D effect. So his cloak is covering his arms, but he's wearing a robe on the inside. So I'm laying down a lot of the charcoal, a lot of darks on the inside of his wardrobe to make sure that the cloak on the top pops out. So around his stomach, there's going to be a lot of lights and darks, a lot of shadows there. Creating a 3D effect. So with the charcoal, you could use blotter to smudge out and blend in all your marks. You could also just use your finger or a paper towel. All 3 work very well. And then the most important part is really get the shadow on the bottom. It anchors the person to the ground. So make sure that his feet are well shadowed below his wardrobe. I've experimented a little bit with having his belt and his strap being brown and matching his wooden staff. So I decided to put a little bit of color, and you can be the judge to see if that was successful or not. So as I said, this is the first video of 3. The next 2 will be fantasy creatures, and then the last one will be a fantasy landscape. So stay tuned for that. That'll be coming in the next week or so. So I hope you enjoy creating your fantasy creatures, and I hope these little tips and tricks are really quite helpful. Pass a comment if you need some more instruction, and really enjoy creating your fantasy character. Please subscribe, and I'll see you next time.